I'm Jeanette Keynes from Jewelry Arts Inc. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use bezel punches. They're basically metal cone-shaped tools that you put down over your round bezel setting and whack, whack, and they're set. They work really well. Of course, they only work for round stones, but if you've never seen these before, you might want to give them a try. Of course, we have them on our website. Hi all, I'm Jeanette Keynes from Jewelry Arts Inc. Today I'm here to show you a tool that you may not have used before. These are called bezel setting punches or punch sets. I've seen them called a few different things. Basically what they do is they set your stone all at once. They fit down over the top of it. You apply a little force and they basically press it in and down all at the same time. And what you might be thinking is, oh, fuck, why didn't you tell me about this earlier? Well, the limitation of it is it's only for round stones. So this is the kind of tool that I don't necessarily recommend if you've never set stones before, that you just get this instead of regular setting tools, because it only works on round stones. But as long as you're willing to accept that limitation, these things are actually kind of amazing. So what we have here is what the lovely Alana has done. This gorgeous facet, it's a topaz, right? Yeah. Now, we've already done all the things that we need out of life for a good bezel setting. We've got a nice tight bezel. We've got an inner bezel in there that's just at the right height, holding the girdle, you know, right below the height of the top of the bezel. I'm also going to use a dowel and really like level it in there and make sure like, you know, it's sitting there and behaving itself. So all your normal protocols still, you know, it still matters. And Alana, I told her to make a tight bezel and she did. It's really nice because I actually have to press it a tiny bit to get it down in there. Oh, look at that. This is gorgeous. And we checked this and looked at it from all the angles, and I'll just take this and gently tilt a little bit so that you can see that the bezel just clears that girdle. Because a really common mistake is like, it seems like that's not enough, you know, and then you put it in there too low, but then by the time you're done setting, it just covers too much of your stone, in particular for a faceted stone. A cabochon, it's not quite as problematic because that can just be a different look. But with a faceted stone, you really end up covering up a lot. Okay, so there's a smaller set like this for smaller stones, and there's also a bigger set like this, which you can see covers basically everything up to like, I don't even know what the biggest size is. Maybe that's 25 millimeters or something like that. And I think Alana's stone is just a little bit bigger than the biggest one of this. So I'm gonna root through here, because what you're looking to find is something that'll just go over it and you can kind of feel it's resting right on the top of that bezel. Now on a set like this that has a bunch of different sizes, honestly, there's probably a couple different sizes you could use and it would still be okay. It's not the kind of thing where it's like there is one perfect punch that will fit. You know, a couple different ones will. Because if you look at the inside, I'll try to hold that there so you can see, it's all polished and tapered. So you see what I'm saying? You could use a couple different sizes and one might hit it just ever so slightly lower on the bezel than the other, but they're still going to do the same purpose. I like sort of having it that a couple different sizes will work, because then you're not like totally stressed out if you're like, if I don't have the exact right size. Now they have these cute little handles that you can twist this open and pull them in and out like so. However, some of us naughtily have just picked them up and held them and tapped. This really helps you to get a good grip on it, you know what I mean? But honestly, mainly what I'm gonna be using, I'm just gonna use my little leather mallet and I'm gonna like tap, tap, and I'm gonna check. But I have many a time not bothered to put the handle on and just, you know, held it like this. Because you see what I mean? For example, this one's a little smaller. This one would still work just as well. As long as you can feel it resting more or less toward the top of the bezel, you know, it's doing what you want it to do. Okay. Now, the big advantage of what Alana has done also is that she made her bezel tight, which is like 99% of getting a good bezel setting. So I don't have to be too worried about this like sliding around in there. But if your bezel's a little looser, you're definitely gonna have to like tap a little bit and stop and check and make sure it's level. Because literally all you have to do is you take this and then look at the top of the bezel. You see how the edge is pressed in? Now I'll probably do this a little bit more, but literally that's all there is to it. It's crazy fast. And really the biggest problem with this technique is you're just gonna be like, I'm done. Like that can't be it, you know what I mean? And you keep trying to do something and it's like, it's over. It's crazy. So if you look at this, like it can still move a little bit. Like I'm gonna definitely get in there and tap it a little more. I'm also using like a leather mallet or maybe a nylon. I'm not like using a big steel one. And also if you're using the one with the handle, I would stand up, you know, and kind of like lean in and stuff like that. But honestly, I usually just tap it a little bit with my leather mallet. And you notice also, because these are polished on the inside, you see how the outside edge is getting shined up? So a lot of times when you do these, that's it. I don't clean up anything. I don't do anything. So although you can't use these in all scenarios, when you can use them, they are super magical and amazing and fantastic. Maybe I'll give it a couple more taps. Wiggle the stone a little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna give it a few more taps, and then basically I check it, I make sure that nothing has wiggled anywhere, that the stone can't move, but that's really all there is to it. You can kind of, you know, angle it around a little bit, but I usually more or less just go from the top. So Alana, I'm gonna let you give it a whack or two for giggles, but honestly, more or less, it's done.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that's why when you can use these, it is kind of life-changing.
Wow.
Another time that I use these is if you have little round bezels and you are really in tight quarters. You know how normally you go in 45 degrees with your bezel roller, right? You don't have to. You can go straight up and down. So when you don't have a lot of space, this can really help. Now, granted, this takes up a little room on the side, but like I use them when I do those rings with the big thing in the middle and the little ones, all the little round stones around it. Exactly. That's usually what I use to do the little ones, because that's how I figured out that I needed this tool, because I was like, this sucks. I don't like this. It's hard to get in here. Okay, so I'm gonna trade places with Alana and let Alana give it a couple whacks and, you know, give it a feel, but literally that's it. You don't even have to polish it when you're done if you don't want to, because it just leaves such a ridiculously tidy edge. Okay. Look at that sexy beast. I mean, the edge is ridiculously pristine and shined up, and it's ridiculous. Try it, you'll like it.